Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi, this is Tammy Patzer, and I'm happy to introduce today's guest, Charles Miller. He helps local businesses with their online reputation and exposure, and by doing so, increases their online footprint and local rankings on the search engine results page, known as the SERP, such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Welcome, Charles.
Hi, Tammy. Thanks for having me here today. Really appreciate it. It's good to meet you finally.
Oh, thank you. I know. I think we've known each other online for quite a long time, so I'm really happy. You are calling in from beautiful British Columbia. And who is it that you help with their reputation?
Generally, we work with local businesses, owners that have got a broken online, they're broken online and they don't have a good reputation with the feedback they've gotten from their customers. So mostly local businesses.
Do you work with people beyond Canadian borders?
We're expanding our market right now. Yeah, in Canada, we've got a few clients as far towards your way, into Colorado, and we're actually breaking into the Australian market right now.
Oh, okay. So Canada, the United States, and Australia, and you help people get found online, Bing, Yahoo, and of course the big one, Google. Before we get too much into our conversation, let's go ahead and define the terms that we're going to be using so everyone understands. What is reputation management?
Generally, reputation management encompasses a lot of elements on a business's online presence, in their branding and their ranking as well. The cleaner and more consistent that the information is online for a business, the better a business is perceived as having an authority, and that's a good reputation. Kind of further to this, more established as a business, how they appear to potential clients is online, the more successful they'll be. Just to give you kind of an example of that, if a company achieves a 5-star rating, as we've all seen, when we're looking on Google, their clients have provided some good feedback and a positive experience. And this is only gained to help their customers getting more customers and leads. Consequently to that, if they have a bad experience from a client, they'll go the other way, and more likely potential clients will take their business to a competitor. So we try to straighten that out and get them on the positive side of things.
So if you were doing this, I know one of the biggest things that people always are saying, if you interview a business owner, you say, how do you get your clients? And they always say word of mouth. And in their mind, they're thinking real world word of mouth. But in this virtual world, it's a lot different, and it encompasses reviews, for example, like what you mentioned. What else does this word of mouth online really encompass that you help people get or help them with?
Well, the local business owners, they're trying to create an online profile, basically, and they want their profile to look as good as possible. So the reputation management includes getting onto things like local business directories and in forums, that are online, blog sites that are in their niche, or authority sites that pertain to their niche, as well as social media platforms and different groups, like Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr discussion groups, and even on LinkedIn in their special groups there. So what we try to do is fix this broken online presence so they look good and people can perceive them as having an authority and also being honest. One of the things that is really prevalent now and is trending and has been for about the last 6 months is that people, when they're going to to a business or they want to go and do business with somebody in a local market, there's about upwards of 90% of people will go online first and look to see how that business looks online before they'll even go into the local business. In fact, it goes up to stats like 97%. It's just kind of staggering as to how much people use the online presence to dictate where they're going to buy, any good services. And this isn't just branding to local businesses. This could be things like music bands or personal branding, local realtors, which we work with also in improving their branding that way too. So it's not just one thing as far as reputation goes. It's about branding and online exposure.
Branding, online exposure, and then of course reputation. And
yes,
you said 90%. So that means that 9 out of every 10 people go online to check out a business before they decide if they're going to spend money with that business or company.
Yeah, I think the stat is 92% right now. I know it's way over 80% as it was a couple of months ago, and in some cases up to 97%, depending on the market or the niche we're talking about.
Wow, that's almost like saying nearly everybody goes online. And I know I check people out, and almost everybody I know, even if they do get that word of mouth recommendation from someone, they'll take that, and then it's almost like they go online to verify that that person is actually telling the truth about it. So what are some of the big problems that you can help your clients and customers solve with your services?
Basically, a consistent online information presence. We use things called citations, which includes their name, address, and phone number. So we want to try and get that in order for them. There's a lot of sites that you can go on to that will allow you to put your business information into local business directories and those types of things. So we try to get their citations in order. Like I said, their NAP or their name, address, phone number, and get that consistent first off. So that way it looks like they're, they have a real business, not look like, but, they do have a real business. And people can believe that, that's a little bit of authority and trust there because it's consistent. The second thing that we look at is responding to online reviews that people leave in various areas on the internet. Again, you can talk about places like Foursquare and Google, and Yelp is a big one, Yellow Pages, where people leave these nasty reviews in some cases and some good reviews. And so we want to get those in order. If they're in a position where they have a lot of bad reviews, we want to help them, respond to those concerns that those reviews, put out there, and then, improve them by responding to the people. And of course, the ones that are good reviews, maybe a 4 or 5 star that they would see online, we would want to respond to those and say thank you very much and give them a level of trust, that people think, okay, these people really care about their business. So and the other thing, I guess, is getting more reviews for the business and creating their presence. So those are some of the typical things that we do with people.
So do you actually help them do this, or do you train them to do it? If I wanted you to help me, would you be actually responding to these different reviews, or would it be that you help me to train my staff to do it for myself or for my business?
Definitely. Yeah, first we're going to be educating the business owner. That's first and foremost. They need to know and understand the value that they're putting out there for their clients. So the second thing that we'll do after we educate them a little bit is to develop a strategy to create or enhance their current reputation status. We'll show them how to get the clients to do reviews through a series of incentives or simple sign-in forms. In fact, we have one strategy that we use where a client will have a sign-in system that's digital. And what they'll do is get their clients to sign in, and the client provides their name, their address, or their email address, and possibly a phone number, cell phone number. And then a couple hours after they've visited the doctor's office or the business, then an email would go out or an SMS would go out, and they would have an opportunity to review that and put a comment, and some feedback for the business owner, thus increasing the amount of reviews they get. And then the third thing that we do is we help them, come up with a strategy of implementation or a call to action. Putting it simply, it just takes time and effort, and we guide the business owner through these processes. So we do.
How many directories and videos? I know when I talk to businesses, I like to call everything a digital asset, because when you go online and you do a search, often, of course, you'll see a website. Maybe they have Yelp reviews or TripAdvisor or Google, and each one of those is like a little piece of digital real estate. And if they have a lot of them, often they push other businesses totally off the page if they're actively pursuing this. Is that what you've found also?
Yeah, there's so many of them you can talk about. You just named a few of the top ones. So we try to work with some of the best ones that are out there. Like you say, with Google or Foursquare or Yelp or Yellow Pages, White Pages, Super Pages, I can go on and on. Angie's List, Craigslist. There's so many of them out there. The more reviews you get on these sites, the more power or strength or sort of what I like to call juice that you get from those sites, and the way that they backlink to your main home site. So if a local business has 20 reviews on Yelp and 10 on Angie's List and a bunch on Google, they're going to have a lot of strength. Google really loves that kind of stuff. And I try to keep everything here towards Google, because that's where I mainly work, and that's the 80% of the traffic that's online. But yeah, these forums and niches and business directories, the more you have in there, the better the reviews are. Google keeps track of all that stuff, and they love it when they see good reviews. So these citations that we talk about are very important to make sure that they're all in order and that they're consistent across the various platforms. Now, taking that one step further, if I can, is going into the social media platforms where you're dealing with places like Facebook and Tumblr, where there's all these discussion groups, your Twitter account, even your LinkedIn special groups. Same thing happens there. Once you provide the backlink or a link to those sites, whether it's going from your site to the social media platform or going the other way, where somebody's posted a review and it refers back to your main home site, there's a lot of consistency that has to be produced there too, and it works the same way.
So could you define the term backlink for those of us who might not quite understand what that really means?
Yeah, backlink is essentially a link from, let's say, your site to my site. If I go on a post a review or some kind of a discussion, participate in a discussion group, and I put in Tammy Patzer, an educator, and I'm putting the review on there. I want to put a link in there that goes back to my money site or my main site. And essentially the same way. If people come onto my site and leave a comment, and they've done it through Tumblr or Facebook, then that's created a backlink. And it's a connection, basically, between two websites. But we want it to go to your main site, which is where all the reviews are going to be.
Okay. That helps a lot. So with this reputation management, would you say how important of all the things a company can do with their marketing today, where would you rank reputation management and marketing?
I would say it's probably the major or the first most important consideration on a bid for a business. You can say that SEO, search engine optimization, getting your rankings and everything are important, but seriously, when Google takes a look at the reviews online and you've got a bunch of bad reviews, if you haven't got those in line, your rankings are going to be very low. You're not going to be able to get onto that first page of Google. A lot of people will sit there in the background on page 2 and 3, and we all know that's dead area, dead real estate. So getting onto the first page of Google is using the reputation management is a very good strategy for businesses, and it also brings in more customers so they don't go to your competition. A lot of times, you'll notice if you're familiar with the Google searches, there's a local area there that'll list the top 3 businesses in the area based on search engine optimization, or the SEO. If
Yes.
yeah,
Only 3 slots now.
yeah, there used to be 7, and they've changed the whole page, the whole Google thing, where their paid ads aren't just showing up as many as there were before too. So when you look at those 3 listings that are in what we call the 3-pack, and there's a listing in number 1, 2, and 3 position. If you're sitting number 3, say for instance, Tammy Pat's our educator, and then we have 2 other educators above that don't have any reviews, and they don't show a little bit of markup that's on there that shows those 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever. But Tammy Patzer's got 5 stars. They don't really care about the ranking and that such. They're going to look at the reputation first. They're going to see the 5 stars like, oh, there's 5 stars. That means she's got a good reputation, and they're going to click on you first. It's just the way that the trends go, and what people see, what draws your eyes to that person in the first place or that business.
Right. And psychologically, when people see 5 stars, they immediately perceive that as high quality, authority, and credibility, because that's how we've been pretty much programmed that, 4-star hotels, 5-star restaurants. And so we just equate that with quality.
Yeah, trust and authority is what it comes down to. Yeah, and people will walk into that business first and foremost rather than looking at the actual rankings. So if you look at it on those terms, I think reputation is the lead on that type of thing, because that's the first thing, like you say, psychologically that we perceive as being the value in that business.
So you do some things that are kind of unique that go beyond your typical reputation with the directors. You also make what are called reputation or review videos. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, what we've started up is a beta program here recently, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but basically what we'll do is we'll take the online reviews and put them into a short, usually about a 1-minute video, and we'll produce that using a Hollywood-style set. We'll put the anchor person in the front there doing a preamble to the business. We'll list on a screenshot of a review that we pulled offline, and we can actually do a voiceover and have them dictate it or whatever. And we'll put basically, like I said, a 1-minute video together that shows that 5-star review that came in from that particular client. And that's one of the things that we start doing about 4 or 5 months ago, I guess. And we've had a lot of good feedback from it, and people like it because people like to see those 5-star reviews and saying how good they are, and people like to see it, as to, okay, this is a trusted business. Of course, the trust and authority comes into play there.
And videos typically, in my experience, rank very well on Google. And I actually have seen some of their the Hollywood style review videos, and they're very high quality. And I think they do a good job of representing every company out there with the professional anchor person, presenting that review. So I think that's a really good idea. I've always really liked videos anyway, because they have a lot of power. And ever since I started in local marketing, which was in 2009, I've just seen videos help my clients almost more than anything else. Tie them to a testimonial or a review, and bang, you've got a really powerful system. It sounds like you've really put a lot of effort and thought into creating a pretty phenomenal program. If our audience, if they want to contact you or get a hold of you, how can they do that?
They can go to our main website. It's Docart, that's DOCARTSEO.com. So that's docart.com. And the way to get started on that is to go to our website, and there's a complimentary local score there where we'll give them a complimentary report on what their online footprint looks like right now, dealing with all the different directories and social media platforms, the most important ones, the higher ranking ones.
Oh, okay. So hey, audience, you can go get a free report that will give you your, I guess you could call it your baseline score of where you are right now in the search engine. So you can find out how much help you need. And then, of course, you can call Charles and find out more about his company and how he can be of service to you. Before I let you go, is there any golden nugget you'd like to give our business owners and professionals out there that they need to really think about when they're thinking about reputation?
No, I generally just like to give a couple of tips out if I can.
Okay.
The first place a potential customer reaches a business is online. So you got to be making sure that you're always aware of how your company online reputation looks, and always try to keep it at the highest standard. Mainly the 4 to 5 star reviews. The second thing I like to put out there is potential customers will trust reviews and form judgments based on a company's online reputation. That's huge. And then the third thing, a company's reputation means more to a potential customer than the rankings. So those are 3 things just to keep in mind. We realize that the online market is always shifting, and it's very important for business owners to stay ahead of their competitors. So we like to say, focus on what you do best and let us do the rest. And that's what it's all about. So you can take advantage of our complimentary service at Docart SEO, and hopefully you can take it to your own person, or you can give us a call. Hopefully you'll give us a call, and you can contact by email on the website.
Okay, and that email address, by the way, is admin@docartseo.com. Charles, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with me today.
Well, thank you very much, Tammy. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to talking more with you about some other business ventures.
Great. I'll invite you back. Thanks, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.